Hi there, it's Quinn with PTSD While Black. It's been a while since I've made a video, so I thought I should really do a few more updates. I just recently uploaded my Halloween video, talked about that stuff. What's been interesting is since that video, since Halloween, um, PTSD, I've been experiencing for about a week straight. There was a fire in our apartment complex 4 years ago, um, the day before Halloween. And so I'm still dealing with the PTSD from that. And I recognized like being so triggered and I was having nightmares and stuff this week. What I'm finding very interesting was that combined with doing physical therapy for my lower back and having increased physical pain from doing that physical therapy has led to a week of very destructive depression. Um, and when I say destructive, I mean just that it's difficult for me to be in relationship with people, fighting with my husband. And unfortunately, after 15 years of not doing self-injury, I ended up cutting myself. And I'm not proud of that. But what was interesting was even doing that act, it didn't feel like the solution that it once was years ago, especially when I was a teenager and in my early 20s. It didn't feel like the solution. I was like, this is fucking stupid. I want to live and I don't want to hurt myself. So fuck that. But I'm just like allowing myself to accept what has happened and what I did. But to look at the series of events objectively, kind of like doing some praying and meditation with my higher self, my 90-year-old self who has gone through all of this and has forgiven herself for what she's done and has made amends and gone through all the shame of all the feelings. And that's been very helpful doing a lot of meditation this week, even though the depression and sadness was just really heavy. One big change that has happened was in October. I went to see a neurologist and he had prescribed a medication called Topamax for me because I had I think the last video before Halloween was where I talked about having a seizure on October 4th. Um, and unfortunately, that medication really messed me up. It really affected my um, stomach and emotional behavior. It was just like I was very different from who I was. Much more paranoid, much more afraid. And I'm like, fuck, I'd rather have the seizures than have this medication. And so it's like, it's no wonder that TMI, I know, but my menstrual cycle, after having taken that medication for just a couple of days, because I did stop it, I was like, can't do this. But after having taken the medication for a couple of days, my menstrual cycle, which is this most recent one, that's where I felt like a greater amount of depression and sadness and sorrow. So it's very interesting as to how medications affect me. And they did tell me, my pharmacist did tell me that when I was given the medication that it would affect my hormone levels and also would affect my birth control that I was on. So it's like fucking with too much shit, basically. And the side effects of that, I don't know if I did a video on this or not. And maybe I started to and I never did. But the side effects also included problems with memory. I was having so many memory issues, a lot of confusion, numbness in my hands and feet, which for those of you've seen my videos, for the last 3 years since the concussion, I've been trying to get better around numbness in my hands and feet. So taking a pill that basically gave me the car accident symptoms and the concussion symptoms in one pill, and plus being suicidal in one pill. Fuck that. And I tried calling the neurologist's office to recommend a different medication or anything of that nature, but I've left messages. No one's called me back. I tried calling his main office and they said, well, even though somebody answered the phone, they were like, well, the doctor doesn't see you at this office, so we can't help you. That's the shit I'm dealing with right now. So I have an appointment in January to see this neurologist, but I'm going to see my psychiatrist tomorrow and talk to her about this because I'm not feeling okay with all of these things. I'd rather just deal with my seizures and, pay attention to my body, knowing when I'm too tired or if I haven't drank enough water if I haven't eaten, to do all these things to take care of myself, to exercise. I'd much rather treat this as naturally as possible. And when I'm feeling symptomatic, hey, you know what? I don't do stuff that day. I'm more okay with that than I am to take a pill that's going to constantly make me feel like shit for possibly 2 years. We need to find another plan. That's the point. Anyhow, so that's some of the stuff that I've been going through. And so I'm able to, I guess, after, you know, talking to some friends and getting above this, I'm like, this is bottom line behavior for me. For me to hurt myself, that's bottom line behavior. So I know something is not right. Because it's not worth it. And so for me to feel that desperate to have gone there, I know something's wrong. Because I've survived rape. I've survived that fire. I survived the car accident without doing this. So for being in pain for 4 days and then having that sudden depression, that's baby steps, man. That's baby steps. It's little bitty things compared to all the fucking shit I've been through for me to act in this way. So yeah, I'm at least getting it out and acknowledging it, and I don't have to hold on to shame for choosing an old behavior. I just look at it and see it as being something different and progress and improvement and go forward. And more to focus on what do we do with my medical health, because I could see that there were just like so many little things that were just adding up, and I don't know. I don't respond well to medication changes. That's one thing I'm learning since this concussion. Any amounts can definitely impact me. I even contacted my my primary care physician because he couldn't see me. He's going to see me this Wednesday, and I told him that I was having this bad reaction, and I'm like, maybe I need to ease into this Topamax and try to you know, build it up, because we had to do the same thing with the gabapentin. But even with the smaller dose that he gave me of the Topamax, it was still too much overwhelming, and I'm like, I just don't want this in my system. It just doesn't feel right in my system, so I couldn't do it. So yeah, I'm gonna at least work with my care providers to try to maybe come up with an action plan, because the bottom line is I ain't fucking taking myself out. I'm not having that. I don't want to feel like I'm in combat with the people that are closest to me all the time. I'm wanting to progress. I'm wanting to move forward, and I just feel like this last seizure and this dependence upon trying to be a good girl to take this medication was like a big step back. Was a big step back for me versus just acknowledging what my body is going through. And plus that last seizure, I think my husband made it more dramatic than what it was. I'm pretty sure I was crying and not drooling, but that's what he told the doctors, that I was drooling. And I'm like, I don't think so. But whatever, you know, whatever. So yeah, this is my reality. This is my world right now. All right. I just wanted to check in and be able to keep some updates, because I recognize that I'm healthier when I'm shooting these videos, when I'm acknowledging myself, when I'm stating what I'm going through. I am much more on point. So it's mid-November, so it's also the anniversary of the concussion. I think it would be very healthy for me to keep videoing, vlogging as much as possible, just to acknowledge me. Yeah. So till next time, y'all. Peace.